Welcome, everyone, to a call for judgment. I wanted to talk about the coincidences yet again with another celebrity referring to themselves, himself, herself, not sure, demon self, as a witch, right? I've covered this over and over, and the reason I constantly cover it as a follower of Jesus Christ is to try and show other Christians out there that we are amongst Satanists, demons, demonic entities, and witches. And we've heard about witches throughout history, right? And we've heard about witches, and then we constantly hear about them and see them promoted in Disney movies and all the main movies, constantly the superhero movies using magical powers or superpowers. So I want people to see that this is actually real, and it's amazing to me how often celebrities reference themselves as witches or talk about these types of things, yet it goes right over everyone's heads. And Megan Fox, who, of course, fiance is Machine Gun Kelly, who I've covered many times over, taking blood baths, throwing up devil horns, just being a demon, of course, painting his nails, and you know how these guys are in Hollywood and the music industry, feminizing themselves. But Megan Fox has come out and talked about how she's a witch. And of course, people just take it as a passive thing, yet they constantly are doing this and saying these types of things over and over. And, well, it's very interesting to me that Megan Fox, so the headline is, Witch Megan Fox responds to desperate claim that she forced sons to wear girls' clothes. So let's start with that, okay? It's very interesting how all the celebrities in Hollywood, all of them, for the most part, let's say like 80%, you could find a big-time celebrity, have a child who happens to be trans. Yet in your day-to-day life, it's very rare that you see this because, of course, this is social engineering. This is how the occult operates. The occult forced this on their children at a very young age. So, interestingly enough, people like Pink, Dwayne Wade, I mean, the list goes on of athletes and celebrities who do this stuff, then get rewarded and promoted in Hollywood. But what's really interesting about Megan Fox is that nobody's suspicious about the fact that this is being forced when Megan Fox doesn't just have one child who is a boy who wears women's clothing. She has 3 boys, and all of which happen to be dressed as girls. They grow their hair out, they put them in girls' clothing, paint their nails. Nobody's suspicious about this, right? Well, somebody tweeted, a politician, Robbie Starbuck, I mean, if that couldn't be a fake enough name, tweeted out about the boys wearing girls' clothing. So Megan Fox responded by saying, I really don't want to give you this attention because clearly you're a clout chaser. But let me teach you something. Irregardless of how desperate you may become, at any given time to acquire wealth, power, success, or fame, never use children as leverage or social currency, especially under malevolent and erroneous pretense, right? So then Fox, who shares sons Noah, Bodhi, and Journey River with ex-husband Brian Austin Green, who happens to be another celebrity, by the way. You think of these people and you're like, oh, Brian Austin Green from 90210? Oh, he can't be one of them, right? Oh, no, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, here's Brian Austin Green just walking the streets with Megan Fox when they were married, right? They got 3 kids who they're cross-dressing. Look at his shirt. No, that's not a coincidence, right? We all have shirts with you know what? Brian Austin Green is just a huge fan of the dollar bill. That's why he has that shirt, right? Or is he just he went to Egypt, right? And he loves the Egyptian pyramids, although that wouldn't really make sense since this one has an eyeball on it. I guess he's just a huge fan of the dollar bill. So if you went up to him and asked him what his shirt meant, he'd say, I love the dollar. I don't love 100. I love the dollar bill. That's why he's wearing it, right? Nothing to do with the occult. They're together, the occult. She's got 3 boys who are dressed as girls. Oh, yeah, and remember this that I covered when it was openly admitted by Megan Fox that her fiance and her, or him, or whatever, these things, Machine Gun Kelly, do rituals involving drinking one another's blood?
It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood, and each drink it, he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul. But yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only. For ritual purposes only.
Wow, so when are people going to connect the dots here with how the Baphomet agenda and the occult operate, right? It's a one gender. The Baphomet, The goat that they worship, which we see all the time, the Satanists use the goat all the time. They roll the goat out, the statue of the Baphomet. What does it have? It's a goat with boobies and a wiener, right? Conveniently, at the same time as we're seeing the demise and destruction of America, what's being promoted? Transitioning genders, right? Boys becoming girls, girls becoming boys, and pretty much just saying there are no genders anymore. But that can't be an occult practice, right? I mean, Megan Fox, who just admitted to being a witch, which I'll get to in a second, her ex-husband walking around with the pyramid on his shirt. I mean, she does the devil horns over and over. She says, I've been burned at the stake by insecure, narcissistic, impotent little men like you many times. And yet I'm still here, says Fox. You effed with the wrong witch, right? But of course, this is passive. We're not supposed to take it literal. She's drinking blood. Her fiance currently is a guy who's done music videos taking blood baths. Nothing suspicious at all. They're just passively, because we all passively call ourselves witches and demons and stuff like that, right? I mean, give me a break. The way the world is going now, you would think more people would wake up to this stuff. I get it, like 7 years ago when I was talking about these things, how skeptical some people were, because it wasn't at the surface yet. Now it's at the surface. Now it's being normalized to an unbelievable degree. It's not just music videos anymore where they're doing things where you're like, oh, look, there's a pyramid. Oh, look, there's an eyeball. Oh, look, there's black and white checkerboard. Oh, no, now they're actually coming out calling themselves witches. Like Lana Del Rey, remember, came out a few years ago and said, we're going to do a massive spell casting on Donald Trump. But they didn't really mean it, right? They're just normalizing and desensitizing people to this. And then sooner or later, just like the stories I've recently covered, if you haven't seen the videos, they're up here on my YouTube channel. You can go find them. Where they're talking about, I mean, it's laughable. Witches who were executed hundreds of years ago are getting exonerated. They're getting brought up again and exonerated because they were wrongly persecuted. Do we have DNA evidence or anything of this from hundreds of years ago? Are we going back to like murders to solve murder cases? Are we going to CSI from like 500 years ago? We're not even trying to find Jimmy Hoffa at this point, but we're going back hundreds of years and we're exonerating witches because it's the right thing to do. Oh, right. So what are you saying here? You're just saying because they're a witch, you're automatically innocent. Oh, right. Like with the West Memphis Three, like all these Satanists who have been let out of prison, who have been caught performing satanic sacrifice rituals, right? Yeah, of course. Of course. So they openly admit to being witches. They openly admit to performing spells, but yet people still don't believe that we're amongst witches and Satanists, and they're the ones who are in control. The Bible only mentions this stuff over and over. It mentions witchcraft. It mentions sorcery. It mentions in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places, in high places, in other words. And we're talking not just about politicians. We're talking about influencers. It is not a coincidence that all of these celebrities are liberal. They're all communists. From Jimmy Kimmel to Stephen Colbert doing their political communism push on late night, to all the celebrities being pro-love, quote unquote, right? Deceiving people through love, making Christians think they're talking about Jesus, mentioning God, some of these celebrities, when they're not actually mentioning the God of the Bible, our Father, Yahweh. They're not mentioning him. They're mentioning Lucifer, their God. They refer to him as God. It's inverted. But how much more do people need to see to say, oh, okay, a lot of these celebrities, certainly have kids who dress in the opposite clothing. Are the kids actually all of them in Hollywood, or all just going to their parents and saying, hey, I want to wear the opposite clothing, right? And then, of course, in this story, what's very interesting about it is you have people who came out and reportedly have said that the children were very upset, right? It says, we used to live in the same gated community and our kids played at the park. I saw 2 of them have a full-on breakdown saying they were forced by their mom to wear girls' clothes as their nanny tried to console them. So that's what this guy tweeted, right? That's what this guy Starbuck, a self-proclaimed, and he's getting ripped in the media. And I don't know what this guy is or what his story is. I mean, whatever. The simple fact of the matter is, this guy's claiming that he saw 2 of them have a full breakdown saying they're forced by their mom to wear their girls' clothes. So, well, you could take this guy for what you want to take it, but 3 kids. You have 3 kids, and all of them have decided they want to wear girls' clothing. 3 boys, all of them. We're just like, I want to be a girl. I want to be a girl. You know what the odds of that are? There's a better chance of getting struck by lightning twice today. We're in the middle of the desert. Okay? The odds are pretty slim. The odds of that are like getting eaten by a shark while you're sleeping in your bed peacefully tonight. Okay? Very, very slim. But then when you take the odds of all the celebrities who all happen to have children, who are all wearing the opposite clothing of their gender, which of course, again, this is all the Bible. Remember, everything's inverted. Lots of Christians don't even look at some of these verses like Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. A woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. Right? So why are all of these things being promoted that seem to be anti-Christian? Why are Christians being censored? Because the Bible's real. Because this is a spiritual war between God and the devil, God and Satan, God and Lucifer. Whatever name you want to use, Beelzebub. That's what's going on here. And all the people who are involved in this are pawns in their game who are not saved through salvation through Jesus Christ. Because that's the only way you could be saved, through Jesus Christ. So they're manipulating people. The CIA and the intelligence agencies are putting these people on pedestals, not because they're really talented, because they're influencers, Kardashians, right? Kanye's, who, again, I have a video going up on the website about Kanye West just had a party involving spirit cooking. I highly recommend you join. I can't put it up here on YouTube because some of the pictures they'll probably strike me for. So that'll be up on the website. I hope to see more people over there. But it continues on, right? Taylor Swift, Pink, all these celebrities, all of them, they promote these same exact agendas. It's just coincidental, right? They're just great people. None of them are Republican or conservative, right? They all hate Donald Trump, and they all promote the same crap. And then we're supposed to believe that, wow, a lot of these celebrities, like, they're just being good parents because all their kids are just coming, like as if the numbers are staggering, as if like, on your street, wherever you live, that, 1 out of 2 kids wants to be the opposite gender. They're just jamming it down everyone's throats because this is how they operate. This is how psychological warfare is. So let's just recap. Megan Fox, again, out there, claiming to be a witch, has 3 kids that she dresses, 3 boys in women's clothing. One person claiming that 2 of them had mental breakdowns in the middle of a park with their nanny because they don't want to dress as girls, but they're being forced to by their mom. The husband at the time, the father, was the guy from 90210 who's walking around wearing a shirt with an all-seeing eye on it, right? They leave one another. Megan Fox gets together with Machine Gun Kelly, who's seen most notoriously as taking baths in his music video in blood, which is a baptism in the occult. On top of that, they drink one another's blood. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just wearing a tinfoil hat over here. I guess I'm just crazy, right? They're just artists. They're kooky. We all just want to drink one another's blood, right? No, I don't think so. If people don't start seeing what's happening, then they're going to get run over spiritually because the devil and his minions are in control right now of the earth, even though God is in total control. And our job as Christians is to wake people up. There are souls to be saved through Christ. And I continue to do this so that people can see these types of things and say, you know what? Yeah, what is all this demonic crap? Why are they calling themselves witches? What does the Bible say about witches, huh? About witches and what's supposed to happen to them. Can't say it because it'll be hate speech. I'll probably go to jail or something, right? What does it say about witches? You all know what it says about witches. And who are the witches? Who are the people that constantly talk about these things? Joe Biden did a speech a few years ago I covered. What did Joe Biden say? He talked about drinking blood and, we're all devil worshipers. Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Just a coincidence, right? Because when you're out with somebody that, say you went your next door neighbor, these are things that come up. They say, I'm a witch, and they talk about drinking blood. It's just these people. It's like they can't help themselves, but it's part of universal law. They reveal themselves. They tell you who they are. Just it goes in one ear, out the other. Everyone thinks it's sarcasm. It's comedy. They don't pick up. They don't pay attention. It's right in front of our faces. It's really clear to see. And again, on top of all that stuff, you even had Elon Musk tweeting out something about hiring a witch and a propagandist for Twitter, right? Elon Musk. What was the quote? Let me look it up in the mid video here. I'm not going to pause it. Elon Musk quote. I'll get the exact quote from his Twitter account because, he's probably like one of the most followed people on Twitter. He says, looking to hire a VP of witchcraft and propaganda. So, yeah, all just coincidences, all these rich influencers that everybody follows. People are so narcissistic, that's part of the problem, is that they don't think that they're influenced. They don't think they're under mind control. Like, I'm making my own decisions. No, you're not. You're dressing the way you dress because you're influenced by something, someone, something you're seeing on the box. Otherwise, you could just wear a cloak like they did in the old days, right? Garment. You wouldn't be like, oh, and these shoes. Oh. You're being influenced. Same with men. All of us. Unless you break free from it. And even then, it's still hard to break free, but it's unbelievable. But they're narcissists, so they don't want to believe this stuff. They think that they're like, I follow these celebrities because I find it interesting. I don't worship them. Oh, they worship them. They worship the ground they walk on. And there's some people who flat out comment under their tweets and stuff, and they're like, you look great today, Kim. You look great, Kanye. Kanye, I loved your song. As if they actually care, or like as if they're friends with them. Like telling your friend, if if they're on Facebook and you're like, oh, great, and their friend posted something, even though that's narcissistic, and he just was like, oh, I got a promotion, right? And he's tooting his own horn, and you're like, oh, great, congratulations. Well, they posted the celebrities as if they know them. Part of the social media mind control, right? Part of the influence that they want. The celebrities have never had this much influence over people's minds. People need to break free from it. So, again, just another witch doing all the same agendas, but just another huge coincidence, right? Again, I'd check out the website if I were you guys out there. If you don't know the website, just ask around, okay? I'm not going to leave a link because, well, I've got to be careful. But check out the website. I'm going to have the Kanye West video over there. It's, spirit cooking party. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Wolf in sheep's clothing, just another one of them. Of course, a lot of these conservatives love Kanye because he's a Trump supporter. They don't realize that they're getting sucked into the left-right. Just like, well, everybody else, I guess. I thank you for being here, everybody. Hope you're doing well. God bless you and your families.